Hi, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel, Amanda's Edible Art. Today we're going to be doing, it's hard to explain what this is, but I did a little sample one. All right, so basically this is what we're doing, and this would go up against a cake, a 6-inch and 8-inch, something like that, with a beach scene. You could put your girl or guy, whatever, sitting on a towel. Okay, so we'll start with the body, and this on the front side doesn't look like anything really.
Oh wow.
So we're only like,
I haven't seen that yet.
We're not decorating this side. This side is going to be up against the cake, so we're just doing the back side of it. So her body is going to be, of course, we're going to do it fat at the bottom, because that's her bottom, and then taper her up. So I want her to be a little overly curvy, just because when you're dealing with cake and fondant, sometimes you have to go overboard with your features. So we're just gonna make her super skinny, little waist. I think that's about right. And then shoulders up here, and you want to make the top, the shoulders almost the same width as the hips would be. Make her a little hourglass figure. So flatten it at the top, and then what I'm gonna do is, because the arms, I'm not making two arms really, I'm just gonna make one hand here and then the arm holding the drink. So on this side we're gonna fake an arm. So basically I'm just going to mark in where her arm would go here. I'm just gonna cut that. I shouldn't do it on top of my hand. So basically I want it to look like her arm is crossing in front of her, and then her hand will pop out on this hip. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sort of. It will when you see it all done. Okay, so now we'll give her a little bottom. Just a little bit, so that her bathing suit has a little bit of a shape here. Okay. And put toothpick in here. We're not really gonna give her a head because she's just all hat, but I am gonna put a piece of fondant here to represent a head, so that we have something to prop the hat up against, basically. So you're just gonna make a little ball for her head, basically, and then you're not gonna make a face or anything, because it's not really what we're going for. Okay, I think I'm happy with that part. Now I'm going to work on, we're gonna do the hand and the little arm separately so it can dry. All right, so to make this hand, we want it to be, it's gonna be pretty tiny. It's just a tiny wrist and a tiny hand that's going to rest right on that hip. So we'll make this little, I don't know what that is shaped like, arm and hand. So flatten out the hand part, and then we're gonna cut it. So the thumb will be here, and then we'll just cut out a little notch there, and then the fingers are over here. So I'm gonna make it a little skinnier. 1, 2, 3 cuts. And then we have to very carefully taper down each finger. So I'm gonna be pretty skinny. She's a very dainty thing, sitting on the beach with her drink. Dainty little hands. It's probably the hardest part of this whole thing is these little fingers. So I just kind of try to twist them a little bit, make them skinny, and then. So what I want to do here is put her middle finger down and have her pointer finger sort of pointing out. lift air. Okay, let's see how that looks. All right, so this finger looks kind of funny, so I'm gonna work on it for a second. It just needs to be played with a little bit. I'm just smoothing it out with my silicone tool. All right, let's try that again. I'll just put that on here with a little bit of water. Get the fingers where you want them. So now I'm going to work on her arm that's holding the glass. Okay, so that's a pretty good size, I think. So now we just need to work on the shape of this arm. I'm gonna try and make it really skinny towards her wrist. This part is also easier said than done. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off. Make her skinny wrist and then leave a little bit for her hand. Flatten that out. Creases in her arm here. Okay. And this is going to be her right hand, so the thumb will go at the top. And then do the 4 fingers again, like we did the other hand. Now this one is going to hold a drink. So I don't think that the fingers have to be quite as perfect. So I just made basically this little cylinder. I'm gonna make it skinnier at the bottom, so like the part of the glass that she's holding is skinnier. I'm not sure what that is called, like a beer something or other. You know what I'm talking about? They're skinnier, where you hold them and then they go out.
Just like a normal glass?
Well, normal glass just goes up like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think like the Coca-Cola glasses are like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Those are skinny at the top, but not the bottom.
No, they're not. They're skinny at the bottom.
Well, they're like fat at the bottom, and then they get skinnier, and then they get bigger, and they get skinnier.
Well, not a Coke bottle.
That's what you said.
Like a Coke glass. You remember we used to have those Coca-Cola glasses?
I mean, like his LSA cup over there is small bottom, big top, in the drying room.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not like
You're right.
drastic.
Okay, so this is basically what your little glass and hand will look like. And then I'm gonna let those dry overnight before I stick them on to her body. I'll just do a little straw. So I'll make a snake. Seems like a straw.
Looks like chalk to me.
Well, it's not in the drink yet. I have to angle the straw. And now a straw. There it is. Boom. Like it?
I
arm over there and dry. Okay. Now I'm gonna put some clothes on her. I decided to go for this army green because I'm doing her hair red. And this just looks nice with her red hair. How would I know that? No clue. No clue. All right, so to make the bikini, I'm just taking a little piece, and it's not much of a shape, but I'm not sure what to call that. So here's her bikini. Right? And now for the sides of the bikini, I'm just going to make like a string. So this is going to be kind of like a string bikini. It's not really in the way. See? That's a good point. You could put the hand on later. And then we'll do a string for the back. So now I'm going to do her hair, which is going to be red. Now I know that's like not a realistic red color, but for our purposes, our redhead is going to have this color red hair. Like sort of fatter snakes. And I'm going to texture them to make them look like hair. And then I'm going to braid them. So basically I'm going to take my tool and just drag lines so it looks like hair. Okay, now I'm going to pinch them together at the top and then just braid them. And then I'll take these bottom pieces and just put a little tiny hair tie in the same color as her bikini. Just put a little hair tie around the bottom, like that. And you can do your hair any way you like, just hanging down her back like this, but it's sort of hiding all of the work that we did. So I think what I'm gonna do is bring her hair off to the side. Kind of like that. So get some water to stick it. And you can twist it around however you like. Now I've got the hat, and then we're gonna be done. Okay, so I'm gonna take a slightly lighter color. Her skin I did a little dark. I mean, she's a redhead, but she's been out in the sun, so she got a little bit of a tan. Actually, I made it almost exactly the color of my skin. So it was perfect, because I'm a redhead. All right. So for the hat, what we're gonna need is 2 cutters. We have to decide how big our hat's gonna be. That seems a little big. This seems better. So I'm gonna use the textured side. There's often a textured side and a flat side. I'm gonna use the textured side and just sort of pull this hat out a little bit, make it a little thinner at the edges. And we want our little hat to be textured. So I'm gonna show you how to texture this. Make that other part first. So for the inside of the hat, I want to have a pretty thick piece. So that's pretty thick. Take my, I'm not sure which one's better. Probably this one. And just gently pop that out of there. And if it's not quite big enough, you can always just pull it a little, squish it a little, make it a little bigger. So that's gonna be our hat. Let's see if it's big enough. Oh yeah, I think it's gonna look great. Okay. Put these away. For the texturing. So what I did is to make sort of a woven looking pattern. I'm just gonna make lines sort of evenly, and then sort of offset lines. It does not have to be perfect. Most of this is going to be covered up. And then I'm going to go inside and do these just sort of cross hatch. Like that. And we're going to do the same thing to the top of the hat. Same idea, sort of off center. Alright, stick that on there. And we'll stick that on there. And the very last step is just to put a little ribbon around the hat, finish that off. So for that, I'm going to need sort of a thick piece to wrap around the hat. And I mean wide, I don't mean thick, wide. It's about that wide. And wrap it around, and you can actually, you can make this thinner. Oops, well, I broke it. I broke it. Do over. So I'm gonna try to sort of fold it and make it look like fabric.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
You make this look so easy.
Well, that's the point. Make it look easy, show other people how to do it. 2 little bows. Oh, I know what to do. Okay, 2 little balls. And I'm gonna do like a little bow. So this is just a little flattened teardrop shape, and I'm gonna put it in there. Make another one. And then put some little indentions in there. centerpiece. Okay, so then once her little arm dries, we'll stick it on there, and this whole thing can sit up against the front of a cake on a towel, beach cake, and that's it, done.